Welcome to this week's episode of Bavarian Redline. We're here in beautiful but cold Colorado to grab our next project car.
But before we show you guys exactly what Aaliyah and I bought for our next project, I wanted to talk a little bit about exactly how we got to Colorado. So our trip started in the Project Cheap E90. We took an 8-hour road trip, 4 hours north, 4 hours south, up to northern Florida, almost at the Georgia border, to drop our dogs off at my sister's house so she could watch them for a few days. We then jumped on the airplane, flew a connecting flight into Minneapolis. When we landed in Denver, a couple hours late due to delays, we found out that it snowed 12 inches overnight. So unfortunately, instead of jumping in the car and getting on the road, we had to wait overnight until the next day and the snow dried a little bit so we could jump in the car and begin our crazy journey of driving a 16-year-old BMW with 172,000 miles, over 2,000 miles home to Southwest Florida. So let's check out the car. Here's a clip of the car a day after we landed, just so you could see how much snow had fallen overnight and how we were definitely not going to be able to start our road trip with this much snow. So after a quick wash and detail of the car, vacuuming out the inside and cleaning up the mess, we're now ready to do a proper walk around and show you exactly how much more we bit off than what we can chew.
This is an E46 M3 with a 6-speed manual and a 2006, the rarest year for the E46 M3. They were already producing the E90 sedan in 2006, but they carried over the E46 coupe for one extra model year. So these are really hard to come by. Now, this particular one is the cheapest example of a running and driving E46 M3 currently for sale in the United States. And there's some reasons why, because you're looking at the good side of it right now. So the back, decent. I mean, there's some cosmetic flaws. It's got some wheels on it off the the G80 M4 M3, the 19-inch rims. It's got Pilot Super Sports on it, really good tires. Overall, the car is in pretty bad cosmetic condition. Now, it may not show up in the video, but you're about to see the worst of it right now. So this hood is pretty awful. There's a wrap on it that's peeling and completely faded. The rest of it's covered in glue. This hood is on here because the previous hood, when the fan shroud blew up, or when the fan clutch let the fan blow up, it hit the hood and dented it. Because these hoods are aluminum, they're really hard to get back straight, so it was better just to swap out the hood. So that's something that's definitely going to have to be painted. The entire front grill here in the lower part of the bumper is missing. The car has, believe it or not, 172,000 miles, so not a low mileage example. Paint is faded on top of the doors. Interior actually a lot better than the exterior. Interior overall in really good shape. It's got the thigh rest on the side, or excuse me, the pull-out thigh rest on the front. It's got the bolsters that can be aired up on the side. M3 steering wheel. It's got an Android head unit that's been swapped into it. Interior definitely shows its age. You know, it's a 17-year-old car, and it's got a significant amount of mileage on it, but overall not in the worst condition. I will start it here so you can see the mileage. It's only 15,000 miles overdue for our oil change there. So surprisingly, no check engine light. The light is on for the windshield washer tank because, well, there isn't a windshield washer tank in the car currently. We'll try to work on swapping that before we leave with the car. The tire pressure light is on. There are no tire pressure sensors in these wheels. Surprisingly, the car does run very well. It is not without faults. It's got an oil leak of some type that we'll look at addressing. Valve cover gaskets have been done. This piece of trim is kind of falling off the door. The shift knob pretty much completely worn out. the e-brake does not work. Other than that, the interior, oh, these are coming off. So we're going to work on replacing those, taking the pillars off here and using some glue to stick those back on. We're going to have quite a few videos coming up on this car, but the most exciting and probably craziest part of this whole thing is that we are going to drive, again, the cheapest running and driving E46 M3 that was currently for sale in the United States. We're going to drive this car over 2,000 miles back to Florida, pretty much as it sits. Gonna check out some more things on the car, make sure it's squared away, but please stay tuned for that. I will be amazed if this thing makes it there without some type of major catastrophe, but we're gonna do the best we can to make it 2,000 miles home so we can start fixing this up so it's not the worst example of the best car, which probably this is. It's the worst example of an E46 M3, but it's a 2006 and it's got a 6-speed manual. It's in a pretty decent color. So overall, really excited about the project. Please stay tuned for the next couple videos so we can go over what we're gonna do to the car and first of all, getting home with it. So wish us the best of luck. Say bye, Aaliyah.